at Jacobson's Men's Store.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Another number in our last number contest coming up in 15 minutes. $10,000 up for grabs. This week at WIBC, it is 6 o'clock. Good morning.
Radio Indiana. WIBC Indianapolis.
At School 72, parents again voice their concerns.
In Northeast Indiana, the Democrats gain control.
In Indianapolis, it's 61 degrees and cloudy.
Currently 61 degrees with cloudy skies. I'm Joe Pickett for Fred Heckman at WIBC, the voice of news for Indiana. Now here's Jeff Pigeon.
Thanks, Joe. 9 minutes after 6 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. This is Jeff Pigeon, and details on a story regarding a bizarre barroom shooting that dealt with underwear.
Jeff Pigeon in the morning on 1070.
And, of course, the Oscars are tonight. We'll look at the Hoosier Oscar connection. We'll talk with Christine Letts, the newly appointed director of the Indiana Department of Highways, and a new airline is coming to Indianapolis.
Jeff Pigeon and the morning team on WIBC.
It's 13 minutes after 6 o'clock at WIBC. This is Jeff Pigeon. Good morning. Your chance to win the $10,000 in our last number game jackpot coming up in a couple of minutes. Another number, the first number of the morning at 6:15, and also the times. We're going to be reading numbers throughout the entire day coming up at WIBC. Mike Inglis with sports just around the corner, and here's Big John Gillis with an early morning traffic check.
Good morning. We've got a fire engine being dispatched now to the rear of 905 South Chase Street. So conditions would be favorable for a good morning rush hour, except in the work zones, and we'll deal with those in just a few minutes as we get aloft. We'll be jumping into the sky in the one and only WIBC 1070 Jetcopter.
Dreams really do come true.
The Business Machine.
6:15 at WIBC. Take a quick check of the weather here. Color radar weather. Cloudy today. Rain developing by mid to late afternoon, and then rain and scattered thunder showers tonight. Rain could be heavy at times. Kind of swampy this evening. Cloudy tomorrow. Rain likely, but ending during the afternoon. And steady temperatures today around 60. Low tonight 47. Tomorrow's high 53. Right now cloudy. Kind of muggy out there this morning. 90% the relative humidity. And temperature 61. At WIBC, the official weather station. Time for a number in our last number contest. $10,000 up for grabs this week. You'll hear numbers this morning at 7:15, also at 8:15, at 10:20 with Mike McKay, another number with Mike at 12:40 this afternoon, and then Jerry Baker with double numbers at 2:20 this afternoon. Jerry's on vacation. Dave Coffey filling in for Jerry Baker this week. And then Dave has a number at 4:15 and 5:15. And then on TV this evening, 6:58 on Fox WXIN TV 59, right between Cheers and Night Court. Now, here is this hour's number. Has to appear in the game box grid for Game 5 for the week of March 27th. Again, playing only on the game box grid for the 5th game, week of March 27th. The number is 56. That's 56. If the number 56 appears in the game box grid for Game 5, week of March 27th.
We want you to circle that number right now.
Thank you, Horst. Again, the number is 56, and another number coming up at 7:15 this morning at WIBC. 17 minutes after 6 o'clock, Mike Inglis with a sports update this morning. 5 years ago today, the big Mayflower vans rolled into Indianapolis after leaving Baltimore in the nighttime.
An exciting city, obviously, Baltimore, and we have an exciting Baltimore Colts fight song to listen to.
This is...
Hold on, listen. Well, is it any wonder they left?
That was their vigil. Their vigil
Their
that they
vigil.
had there yesterday or last evening. They're walking around with candles singing that song.
As many people showed up for that as they did for the last few games.
It was about 6 people there on that thing.
Well, anyway, yeah, it was 5 years ago. Let's go to some... Well, this news actually isn't even happier. A break here, a little whistle there, some decent goaltending early. And I probably wouldn't have to tell you this morning, but there's no playoff spot this year for the Indianapolis Ice in their first year. Two most penalized teams in the IHL met at the Coliseum last night, and guess what? One penalty was called. Sounds strange? Well, it was. That is WIBC Sports here this morning with Jeff Pigeon. I'm Mike Inglis.
20 minutes after 6 o'clock. Good morning. Our Break the Bank jackpot total of $1,460 at 1070 WIBC.
If you want to save money on a new car,
Cellular Systems or Midwest Telephone.
22 after 6, WIBC, Jeff Pigeon and the morning team. Al Pell checks the complete weather forecast in a second here. We'll run by today's, this hour's rather, number in our last number contest. $10,000 up for grabs this week at WIBC. Here's Stephen Spiel-Gillis with a traffic check this morning. Good morning, Big John.
I got to catch a copy of this morning's newspaper because Mom is coming to town to visit today, and she wonders what I've been up to lately. We have really no problems right now. We're going to watch the west side of town, 465. First day they were working starting at 56th Street. Yesterday they started at 71st. Last night they were up to about 82nd with the beginning of their work zone. We'll see where they strike this morning. We'll be first in the air and first with the information right here. I'm at the downtown heliport now, and they have this large PA system that echoes through this underground parking garage. And if you're ever, let's say, near the intersection of Washington and East Street about this time of the morning, you may hear a strange bellowing sound. What that really is, they got the intercom tuned so that it picks up the aircraft call. You know? And our pilot, Dickie Powell, who was in the TV video of our great chase scene recently, every time he gets into the area where he switches on the radio, he immediately lets out with a big, "Good morning, Indianapolis." Well,
And you're flying with this guy.
That just went crackling through the downtown area. So if you hear it, it's not a madman on the loose. It's one we have tied into the control seat in our WIBC 1070 Jetcopter.
Brought to you by?
Oh, well, I'm getting to that. We're here this morning for Automotive Specialists.
Automotive Specialists.
these days it makes good sense to get the most out of your automobile, especially if the thought of a new car or truck doesn't fit into your budget right now.
WIBC, 24 minutes after 6 o'clock. The number this hour is 56 in our last number game contest. And Emma's on the line in a phone booth somewhere. Good morning, Emma. How are you?
Well, I'm just fine now.
Emma, you're in a phone booth in Bainbridge?
No, it's on 36 Hooks here in Avon.
Okay, well, that's close enough. Now, that number I gave, 56, that was your last number?
That was the last one.
And you've already gone through the grueling checkout process. This is Emma Ensley.
Yes, sir.
And you're from Bainbridge.
Yes, sir.
And you're in a phone booth in Avon.
Yes, sir.
And you've just won either your share of or all of our $10,000 jackpot. How do you feel, Emma?
I feel fine. I think it's great.
Problem is,
Thank you, WIBC and the Lord.
okay, Emma, problem is now you're going to have, like 3 days to sit on this bubble and find out whether or not you're going to be taking home all of the $10,000 or sharing that with other WIBC listeners.
I don't mind sharing.
Okay, Emma, hang in there. We'll be checking in with you.
Listen, I'm at work. I'll be in Indianapolis. I work in Indianapolis.
Where do you work, Emma? Emma?
Yes,
Where do you work in Indianapolis?
I work for American Credit Indemnity.
Now, they'll be talking about you there this morning.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, sir.
All right, Emma, good luck.
Thank you.
Hang in
Bye-bye.
there. Bye-bye. Well, there it is. A early winner this
That
morning.
is an early winner.
That's the earliest one we've had, I believe. I think when Karen March won.
Yeah.
$10,000. Emma Ensley on the bubble already from Bainbridge, Indiana, circling her last number this morning in our $10,000 last number game contest.
Now, she had to get that last number while she was in the automobile on the way to Indianapolis. Otherwise, she wouldn't have driven from Bainbridge over to Avon just to call.
And I bet she didn't have her hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel either when she heard that last number. All right, check the weather this morning here with Al Pell at WIBC. Al, there was a bizarre fight in a bar in Illinois the other day. A couple of guys shot each other over an argument.
What?
Well, they were arguing over what kind of underwear a woman pool player in the bar might have been wearing.
Would have been a lot easier to ask her rather than shoot each other.
I think so. People said they'd been betting on everything imaginable, and one bet came down to whether a lady pool player was wearing any underwear or what kind she was wearing, and one thing led to another. They both went outside and shot each other. So, they're doing okay, though. They're doing all right. There's a couple of guys you'd like to be hanging out with, huh? Unbelievable.
Shot each other over over whether or not a lady was wearing underwear or what kind.
27 after 6 at WIBC. Al Pell with the weather this morning.
Well, it's happening to us again. Matter of fact, that low pressure that was over the plains, matter of fact, when we first mentioned it, it's been 2 days ago now. It's been a slow-moving process. It was beginning to move in a northeasterly fashion. It was over, well, just a little bit east of El Paso, Texas. It's now moved. Well, it's 61 degrees and it's cloudy at WIBC, your official weather station.
6:29. Good morning.
In business, the problem is keeping up. Indiana Bell, an Ameritech company. Solutions that work.
WIBC with Jeff Pidgeon, and I'll be repeating this hour's last number after the news with Fred Heckman and Joe Pickett in a couple of minutes here. And maybe you can join Emma Ensley, who's already won this morning. Emma from Bainbridge circled her last number about 6:15 this morning. And she's going to win all of or share in that $10,000 jackpot. Maybe with you here at 1070 WIBC. 6:30. Good morning.
Radio Indiana. WIBC Indianapolis.
The question now raised, should the government step in and clean up the oil spill?
In Indiana's 4th Congressional District, Joe Long surprised the pollsters.
In Indianapolis, it's 61 degrees and cloudy. Today, rain with steady temperatures. Good morning. I'm Fred Heckman.
I'm Joe Pickett with WIBC News for Fairbanks Hospital.
Should the federal government step in and clean up the nation's worst oil spill? President Bush has sent 3 top administration officials to Valdez, Alaska, to figure that out. More than 10 million gallons of oil have spilled into Prince William Sound since the tanker ran aground on Friday.
From about 1,000 feet above the stricken Exxon Valdez.